Hey, second grade, it's Miss Crawl here again. I hope you all are doing well and you are ready to learn. Today, we are focusing on inflectional endings. I know there's a couple other videos posted about this, so we need to activate some prior knowledge here and get our thinking caps on to work on this. So, inflectional endings are added to verbs. Remember, a verb is an action. So, pass, tag. Those are different things that we do, right? Action. Those are verbs. Now, inflectional endings can be added to those to tell us when that verb happened. So did it happen in the past? So did it happen yesterday, the day before, years ago in the past? Is it happening presently? Is it happening right now? Or is it happening in the future? So tomorrow, the next day, maybe years from now. So that can help us, these inflectional endings tell us when this verb is happening. Did it happen in the past? Is it happening now, present? Or is it happening in the future? Today, we're only going to focus on one. And we're going to focus on the present. And we can add S or ES to a verb to tell us that verb is taking place now. It's happening currently. Now, I want you to activate some prior knowledge and think about when we had nouns. Remember, person, place, or thing, like cat, and we wanted to make it plural, which means more than one, we would add S or ES. Remember, we talked about those rules. Most of the time, we can add S, but if there was that X, S, Z, CH, SH, we had to add that ES on. Well, we're going to use that same rule today. That same rule applies to our verbs. So in order to make our verb talk about present tense happening now, we either add S or ES, and we follow those same rules that we did before to make a noun plural. So depending again, what does that verb end with? Does it end in that S, X, Z, SH, CH? If it ends in one of those S, if it ends in one of those, we need to add that ES. If it doesn't, we can just add a plain old S. And again, this is going to make sure the verb's talking about now. This is currently, presently happening. So I went ahead and I have some verbs listed on a sheet for us. And we're going to look at the verbs, look at that last letter or those last two letters to tell us, do we need to add an S or an ES to make the verb present, happening now? So let's take a look at our first verb. We have run. And I want to change it to runs. She runs down the street. She's currently, that's happening now, runs. Well, all we need to do is look at that last end, that ending of run, and we see it ends in an N. Well, we know if it just ends in an N, all we have to do is add an S. So let's go ahead, R-U-N, and we just need to add an S for runs. She runs down the street. Let me, move this up. There we go. She runs down the street. Ends in an N, just had an add in S. Next one, pass. He passes the ball. He passes the ball. That's current, presently. He passes the ball. So I want pass to become passes. So the question is, do I add an S or do I add an ES? Well, we need to look at what it ends with. It ends with an S. And we remember we're activating that prior knowledge that we have that if it ends in an S, we need to add ES to it. So PASS, ES. We can't just add an S for this one. We need to add that ES. Now we have tag. I want it to become tags. The teacher tags the students during recess. The teacher tags the students. Currently happening, we're changing that verb to show a present tense. So we need to either add S or ES to do that. Again, we're using our rules from those plural nouns. If it ends in that S, Z, X, CH, SH, we add that ES. Well, let's look at tag. It ends in a G. So we don't have to worry about that ES. We can just add that S. The teacher tags the students at recess. All right, second grade, we are going to do one more together. And then the last two, I want you guys to try. But I am going to jump. So I'm going to jump down to fix real quick to do together. Keeping you guys on your toes today. So we have fix. She fixes the door. She fixes the door. Happening now, present tense. We want fix to change to fixes to show that. Again, think of our rule. Does it end in that S, X, Z, S, H, C, H? If it does, we add that ES. And it does. It ends in that X. So we can't just add an S. We need to add that ES, fixes. Second grade, I would like you to grab a piece of paper and something to write with. If you need to pause me, go ahead and do so. And once you have those two materials, go ahead and unpause me so we can do these last two. All right, I want you to write yell on your paper. I want you to write yell on your paper. And we're going to go ahead. We want this to become yells. He yells at the dog. He yells at the dog. So yell is becoming yells to show it's presently happening. It's currently happening. How do we do that? So on your paper, I want you to draw an arrow to show that we're changing it. And I want you to try this on your own. Think about the rules and what we talked about. If it ends in that S, X, Z, C, H, S, H, we got to add that ES. If it doesn't, just add that S. All right, take a moment and write yells. How do we make yell? Yells. Make that verb present tense, currently happening. Yeah, so all we have to do is add an S. It ends in an L, so we just have to add an S. We have one more that I want you to try independently. So under yell, I want you to write mix. She mixes the cake batter. She mixes the cake batter. So again, mixes currently happening now. That's what adding S or ES does to a verb. It shows us it's happening now. And that's what I want to do here. Excuse me. So I need mix to become mixes. I need you write mix on your paper, and I want you to give it a try now. Do we add an S or ES to mixes? Give it a try. If you need to pause me while you think about it, go ahead. So for mixes, since it ends in an X, we add ES. So M-I-X-E-S to make that verb mixes, happening now. ES. Go ahead and write that on your paper. Great work, second grade. I want you to remember that inflectional endings tell us that verb, change that meaning of the verb. And when we add that S or ES, it tells us it's happening now. I want you to remember those same rules we used for a noun to make it plural. We can use for our verbs as well. Add that S and ES depending on what that verb ends in. Most of the time we can get away with an S, but there are circumstances, special circumstances where we can't. We need to add that ES. And that's when we have that S, Z, X, CH, and SH there. So I want you to keep a lookout for those and keep practicing. So adding that S or ES to that verb tells us it's happening now. See you guys.